Good morning, I'm Amy and this is A Star Reads, and it is time for the next Pickpongathon vlog. It's time for my next set of books. I don't have any choice this time around. Well, I do have a little bit of choice with one of the books, but not much. I didn't get to pick these books. For my physical book, we have that punishment that we got because we made too many misses when we originally got our prompts. And we had to have one punishment that was have a friend pick a book for you. Well, I thought this is actually perfect because one of the Tales from Two Trails, and Tales from Two Trails, if I didn't mention it in the previous video, is a TBR game slash group challenge thing we do over on Expedition Through Pages channel, Kim, my friend Kim's channel. And one of the prompts we got this time around was a Kim pick. So it had to be a book that Kim picked for us, who is the leader of the other team. She's not Team Pirate, she's Team Elephants. And I thought, Kim is part of the Literary Pongsters, perfect, because she knows what all the prompts are for our team. And so then I asked Kim if she would pick a book for me. And this is what she said. One of the classic female sci-fi authors that I have not read from, Octavia E. Butler. And I'm very excited about Dawn. And she picked it for me because she thinks that this series, the Xenogenesis series, because of the biology elements that it has to it, she feels like that might be something that will really intrigue me and interest me in a sci-fi. I did read the back a little bit and it sounds very interesting, but I'm going to tell you more about it as I get into it. So that's a physical book I'm going to be reading. It worked for BIPOC author. I don't think this is an indie published book because it's published by the largest publishing company in France. So I know that that's not necessarily one of the, top 5 that we have here in the US, but it is still a very large publishing company. So I would say that this is not independently published. For my audiobook, I put an emoji poll up for the Literary Pongsters so that they could help me decide what my next audiobook is going to be. And I can't tell you what it is yet because it closes in 4 hours, but there are 2 books that are like battling. Right now, one is in the lead, but people keep voting for the other ones. So I'm like, maybe it won't stay the way it is. Maybe it'll change because they're only different by 1 point. So I'm not going to tell you what those are yet, but I will tell you later when I find out what ends up winning. And then we'll talk a little bit about my audiobook. So today is a day we thought we were going to go to the Renaissance Fair and we're not, but there are many things we can and should be doing instead. So we'll see what those are. Otherwise, we might just be relaxing because I've kind of been enjoying my last few days of relaxing here around the house. It feels like I'm finally giving myself a bit of a break and not feeling guilty about it. That is the hardest thing for me to do. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, I was thinking to myself about what Me by Elton John will work for Herkiad because I didn't fill that out yesterday. So I thought about it. I'm thinking about making it work for the M in my name. Me by Elton John. And then I was also going to use it for, the Queer Rainbow Challenge because Elton John is a gay man. So Me by Elton John. Yeah, that's what I decided I was going to use it for because I was going to use Cubs and Campfires for the Queer Alphabet Challenge, but I could use that for plenty of other prompts. There's plenty that it will work for. Oh, and I also thought it was clever that it would work for the M in my name because my name is Amy and the title of the book is Me. So Amy, that's the kind of things my brain thinks about. How clever I am. Okay, so now let's see. I am at 14.29% and I have finished 20 out of 140 prompts. So continually making progress, almost at 15% of the way through. The thing I'm still scared about is that 500+ page book in one day. Although I think I might read Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. It's a book that's been on my physical TBR for a while now. I can get an audiobook of it and it's a middle grade. So I think that might be doable. And I think that might be the one that I'm gonna read in 24 hours. Not right now, but I've been thinking about that particular challenge a lot because 500+ pages in one day for me is like, I may have to try that one multiple times and just, like attempt it. And if it doesn't work, attempt it again. And if it doesn't work, try and find different books that might actually work for it because I'm really concerned. So Mom has just gone off. She's just making more and more shell ornaments. She's going wild. She's just having too much fun. This isn't a shell ornament. This is one of those soup spoons, but it broke And so she turned the little fish into a cute little beaded fish. So this is the ocean, the bottom of the ocean, and there's the fish. But so that's, well, there are some shell pieces in this, so that counts. And then, of course, the one she'd done. This one is her abstract. Can you tell it's a face? But it's got like a mask on, and that's its hair. And then this is an old one she had done. I already showed you that one. Then this is one she completed. She just added the little flower to it. She had started this one a while ago. Mom is having way too much fun with this particular activity. Okay, so the emoji poll has ended on Discord, and as you'll see here, the winner was the emojis that had the little movie thingy and the witch. And that's because I'm going to be reading A Picture of Murder by T.E. Kinsey. And this is the 4th book in the Lady Hardcastle series. I'm very excited to continue on with this series. I love the audio versions of this. I've never actually read the physical ones, so I guess I can't really compare, but the narrator of this series is fantastic. And I have been listening to this whole series so far with audio. The reason I put those emojis for this particular book is because this is all about a movie that Lady Hardcastle and Flo are hosting. They're going to be showing this moving picture. It's a spooky moving picture called The Witch's Downfall. And this is supposed to be a big celebration of the Halloween season, but on the very first night of the screening of this movie, there is a murder. And of course, Lady Hardcastle and Flo are going to have to figure out what happened. And so I really love this series. I'm very excited to continue on with it. And I'm very thankful that everybody in Discord in the Literary Pongsters picked it for me, because this is the perfect next audiobook to pick up. Hot yoga bliss. Are you feeling blissful?
Blissful.
Good morning! It almost feels like a lifetime since I updated you last. I know it hasn't been, but I have had a very busy morning. And it's been a good morning, but I'm exhausted. I'm like, see my bags? I'm struggling today. So we got up first thing in the morning, Jordan and I, we went to yoga, hot yoga, which normally is great. And it wasn't that it was a bad yoga session. It was just that I feel more exhausted for having gone to hot yoga. Then we went to our normal Sunday family visit, and that was lovely. Got to see some family members actually that we've never met before. And there were a lot of people there today. So we got to spend time just chatting and catching up and seeing how everybody's doing. So that was great. Then we had to go do some grocery shopping, went to the library and picked up, oh, I'll show you. I picked up Shipped by Angie Hockman, because this is the book I'm going to use for my bingo board for boats, because one of my subscribers, I don't remember at the moment who it is, but thank you for the suggestion. One of my subscribers suggested that I pick this up for the boat prompt. And this is a great idea, because this is exactly what I need. Something a little more romantic, a little more fun, very summery, and that works well for my summer book bingo as well. So I'm very excited to have picked this one up, and I'll hopefully get to this one soon. If not during this current readathon that I'm doing during Pickpongathon, hopefully I'll be able to read this for Suffer-a-thon. I have to read it before the 21st. That's all that matters. Also, I picked up another book at the family get-together today. My cousin Ian always brings extra books that he's already read or just wants to get rid of when he's going through things. And he had Starter Villain by John Scalzi, and this is a book that I've been interested in. I haven't tried anything by John Scalzi yet. I'm more aware of his writing for the space opera sci-fi that he does. However, when I first heard about Starter Villain, and I think this cover is awesome, this came out a few years ago. Did it come out in 2022? 2023, actually. So this actually came out last year, and I was very interested in it because it's about becoming a supervillain. And this guy is not quite up to the, not standards, but to the level of the other horrible, scary villains out there. And so I'm very interested to read this and see what I think about John Scalzi's writing. And then maybe eventually get to those space operas. But really, this is just the coolest cover. I think it's such a cool cover. So that is that. As far as my actual reading goes, let's talk about my reading. So I picked up Dawn by Octavia E. Butler yesterday and really started getting into this quite quickly, actually. I was surprised. Not surprised, I just don't know what I was expecting, and I haven't really been in a sci-fi mood lately. But this writing style is very consumable. It's very easy to get into. It's very accessible, especially considering the concepts that are being brought up in this are very biology forward, very unique, talking a lot about genetics and things like that. Also, the alien forms and the different descriptions are very complex. And yet I feel like Octavia E. Butler does it in a way that is very easy to digest the information that you're getting in. And so I've just been plodding along in this pretty quickly. I'm currently on page 54, so making progress. And, you know, the margins are really big in this, but, you know, it just depends on how you feel about a book. And I'm just finding the writing very smooth, very easy to just keep reading page after page. And I'm finding that I don't want to put it down, which hasn't been the case a lot lately when it comes to books. I've had no problem putting books down. And this book, I'm like staying up later and later so I could read it. Usually when I set my timer or something like that for reading, I am done, or I'm done partway through, like I'm ready to put it down so I can do other things and keep myself busy. This one I haven't been wanting to put down. So that is really good news because I feel like I've been a little slumpy. I've still been reading lately, but I feel like my enjoyment of reading in general, just the reading process, has been a little slumpy lately. So this might change that for me, and I'm very excited about this. So what is it about so far? We have this woman named Lilith, and she just wakes up in the care of being held hostage, a prisoner to, it's all very questionable. She wakes up in this cell. We don't know what's going on with her yet, but we do know that she's being held captive in some way. And she hasn't been able to get the kind of responses she wants from whoever's holding her captive. And there's not much going on in the room, so she doesn't really know where she is, what has happened. There has been a war on her planet. I guess it's planet Earth. She doesn't know what happened, but somehow she was taken away from that situation. Well, we do eventually meet our aliens, our alien creatures, and they are basically trying to get her to help them recolonize Earth after they've fixed the radioactivity and everything. And then they want to genetically alter humans a little bit to leave part of their DNA with humans, or their genes with humans, and to take some of the human genome with them. And that is the way this alien life form procreates and changes itself, evolves, and grows in a sense. You know, that's how they leave their mark as they go different places. And she's very concerned about this. She doesn't want to be altered in any way. She doesn't want her people, humans, to be altered in any way. But she doesn't have much of a choice because these aliens are going to do this whether she likes it or not. And they've all been very, accommodating to her. It's not like she's a traditional prisoner where they're treating her horribly and they disrespect her, and, you know, she's being treated like she's a guest of theirs. But the caveat is that she doesn't have a choice in what is eventually going to happen to her. She is required to help train other humans that they've kept asleep for 250 years. Once she trains those humans, they learn how to relive on Earth because Earth has changed since the big apocalyptic event, then they will be placed on the earth. These aliens will stay with them for a while, get them recolonized, and then the aliens will leave, but they'll leave part of themselves, right? They'll leave their genes with humans. They'll be a part of humans at this point. So that's kind of what this story is all about. I find it fascinating, and the alien creatures are very fascinating. They're not like your typical, you know, green head, big eye aliens. They're very unique, and I do like a lot of the descriptions and learning about these different life forms and how they live their lives, what is important to them, what they value. And of course, I'm curious what's going to happen with Lilith. How is she going to, or what is she going to do to change things? Because I just don't think she's going to go down without a fight. She doesn't strike me as that kind of person. She's shown already throughout a good portion of the beginning of this that she does not agree with anything that is happening, and she doesn't want to do what they're asking her to do. And then I did start listening to A Picture of Murder by T.E. Kinsey, and this is the 4th book in the Lady Hardcastle series, and so far I'm just enjoying being back with these characters. Absolutely love these characters. They're just so fun, they're just so clever and witty, and the narrator does an amazing job. So at this point, it's Halloween time, so this is actually a good fall book. It has this focus on witchcraft and ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. And at the moment, Lady Hardcastle and Flo are hosting this group of a cinematographer and 3 actors. Yeah, 3 actors, because they're doing this traveling cinematography show where they show their video, their film, their moving picture at these events. And because it's Halloween, it's going to be themed with Halloween, and it's called A Witch's Something. And it sounds like it's going to be a really fun fall event that's going to happen. And the reason that Lady Hardcastle and Flo are hosting these people is because their friends over at the Grange, I forget their names right now, their kitchen caught on fire, and so they can't host the traveling cinematographers. And of course, everybody local is saying, well, the kitchen caught on fire because there is a ghost of a chef who was unhappy with the owners of the house from 1600s and caused the fire to start, and everybody in this village are getting all ghost happy. They're all like, oh, the ghost this and the ghost that, and we take these things seriously here. So I can't wait to see what happens when the murder actually happens, because I think this one definitely, oh yeah, it's called A Picture of Murder. When the murder actually happens, because I'm sure everybody's going to be blaming it on ghosts and stuff. So it should be a fun one. This should be a very fun one, but it is definitely atmospheric in a sense. We're getting a lot of the fall vibes. So I'm enjoying that, although I don't know if I'm ready for fall yet, but it's kind of forcing me to be ready for fall. And I'm 16% of the way through that one. So I've got live sprints starting in about 2 hours. I am looking forward to live sprints. I'm also just really tired today, so I've got my amino energy drink. This stuff usually actually helps better than coffee does to pep me up and wake me up a little bit. So I'm gonna relax for the next couple hours until I have sprints, and then hopefully I'll make quite a bit of progress on Dawn, because I'm really enjoying this.
Tonight was a wonderful night for sprinting. It was just a lot of fun. There was just a lot of good sprinting chemistry happening today. We had a lot of fun discussions, and what was really cool, which is very abnormal for me if you know me and you know how I am with sprints, I actually read. I made pretty good progress. Like, I'm at least halfway. So I'm doing really good with Dawn and really loving this book. I'm just finding it fascinating, very interested in Lilith and the predicament she's basically in, where she's doing things with these alien life forms that she didn't expect to be put in the situation. She doesn't want to be put in the situation, but she doesn't have a choice. And I don't know what she's going to do. I don't even know what the right answer is. Like, what should she do in this particular situation? I don't know. I don't know that there's actually a winning answer to this for her, for what she actually wants. She's up to her main task, the reason that these aliens are most interested in her, and what she's going to have to do in order to move forward with this task. And she's delaying only because she is thinking ahead. She's thinking about what she wants her ultimate goal to be. And she has to choose wisely because of that. So, yeah, I really like this so much. So I'm going to read some more tonight before I go to sleep. I'm awake. You know, it's so funny, during the daytime I get so sleepy and I want to take a nap. And then at night, when I should be sleeping, not that I stay awake late every night, but I feel like there's so many nights that I go to bed and I should be ready to go to sleep. And then I'm like, okay, now I can read. So I'll read a little bit until I get tired, and then I'll go to sleep. The other thing I started doing today was watching my summer TV series, which was one of my summer book bingo rewards. And I decided to try Outer Banks because I was really interested in that one. I had heard Darling Desi talk about it, but I'd heard a couple other people talk about it when I was looking up like summer TV shows. Outer Banks kept coming up. I don't know what I thought about it. I thought it was more like YA-ish type romance in the Outer Banks. It's not like that at all. It is like a thriller, almost like a mystery thriller sort of thing. Not at all what I thought, and much darker than I expected also. I did not expect it to be this dark. I don't know that it's rated for younger people. I think it feels like there's a lot of things in here where I'm like, this is adult, isn't it? Although our main characters they're not 18 yet, because our main male character, his father disappeared like 9 months back, and well, they keep threatening to put him in a foster home, so he's obviously not 18 yet. I feel like if it was made for a younger audience, they wouldn't show some of the things that they show, you know what I mean? And they're showing a lot, so I'm like, this must be an adult show, or at least geared towards adults, or very mature teenagers. I am interested, I think. I think I'm liking it. I don't know. It isn't what I was expecting, and so that's kind of like thrown me a little bit, but not in a bad way. I keep watching. I've watched 3 episodes so far, so I must be interested enough to keep on keeping on, and so we'll see. It definitely has the summer vibes, which is what I was looking for, but it's not cozy, you know. I guess, you know, I think of like a seasonal show that I love for the fall is Gilmore Girls, and that's a cozy show. Are there any cozy winter shows? TV shows? Do they have any winter TV shows? I don't know. If you've watched Outer Banks, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. Was it good? Should I keep on going on? Are there other summer shows that I should be watching instead? I might stick with this for now at least.
Good morning. I just uploaded my vlog videos for the third Pick Pong vlog. It's almost 3 hours long worth of footage. I can't wait to edit this vlog. Can't wait. Can't wait. Oh goodness. Hopefully I can cut a lot down of this, but I think I talked a lot. That's a lot. Good morning. It's the 20th already. Yeah, it's the 20th. I still haven't changed my calendar over. I will do that. I will do that. And then it'll be September. Just watch. Okay. So it's the 20th and we're getting closer to the end of the month. Still no word on the job front, but what I can say is that this vlog is going to be a short one because I have already finished Dawn. I stayed up till 2:30 last night reading this. That's how much I've been enjoying it. I've not been able to put this one down. I mean, I have, but begrudgingly. And last night I couldn't. I just kept reading. I'm like, I'm just gonna make it to the end. I'm just gonna make it to the end. I just gotta find out what happens. Just gotta find out where things go. And I loved this. I gave it 5 stars. This is a 5-star read. It was so good. It was so what I needed right now, which was nice. And I have read some 5 stars in the last, month and a half. But for some reason, my reading has been just not great lately. I'm a little emotionally slumpy right now. I'm seeing a therapist for the first time today. I mean, not like my very first therapist ever, but she'll be my first meeting with her. And I'm like happy for that because I've been wanting to be a therapist since COVID. And it was just difficult with the clinic I go to because there weren't enough, too busy, COVID, things happened. And I kind of needed it lately. I think that the work situation's been stressing me out quite a bit, like the lack of having a job. And I know that I have subbing to like lean back on, which is great. But there's still a part of me that's like waiting, anticipating, hoping, and that's a stressful place to be. In the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've had a lot of highs and lows. So maybe more just regulars and lows. Not a lot of highs. Oh, I've had a few highs, but I mean, like, it's been more like this. Doop. I totally got distracted. Why did I get distracted? Anyways. Okay, so what I loved about this was that it's a sci-fi that is very complex. The alien world in this, the descriptions of the things that we're coming up against, that we're learning about, the actual biology and what is happening from a genetics perspective, all the things that are going on in this story. And something like this could easily bog you down as a reader, as someone who's trying to figure out what the author is trying to tell you, something that is completely different to what we are used to reading, you know, like as far as what the alien world is like. You know, it's very different. And yet, it was just written so accessibly. I feel like you pick up this book, it's so easy to get into. Everything is really easy to understand, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it felt like you could just dive into it and not stress too much about whether or not you're understanding like what actually is happening and the implications of things. And yet it didn't lose the charm of a character-based story. It didn't lose the charm of emotions and feelings and focusing more on that. Like, you have the very complex nature of what is going on in this story, but you're also getting these incredible, and I mean incredible in both a good way and a bad way, incredible relationships between characters. And what really fascinated me about this book so much is that, I'm telling you, more than half the time, maybe the whole book, you're not exactly sure who or what you're rooting for. Are you rooting for the aliens? Are you rooting for Lilith? Do you think Lilith is being too critical? Do you think that she's not being critical enough? Do you think that the aliens are good? Do you think the aliens are bad? Do you think that the people are doing the right things? What do you as a reader actually feel about what is going on in this book? And it's almost like there are times when I'm rooting for the people you're not supposed to be rooting for. And I find that compelling and interesting and fascinating, and it makes you want to keep reading. And I just wanted to keep reading this story. I really enjoyed everywhere this went. I'm very excited to find out what happens next. Lilith is not necessarily the most likable character. You know, throughout this book, I don't know that I would be friends with her. I don't know that we'd be buddies. And a lot of the people in this aren't very likable. But I still loved following Lilith. I still loved following the other characters within this and just learning more about them and looking at humanity. And, you know, this is a conversation about what is humanity like at its core and what's important about humanity. What are the essentials of humanity and how well do humans fit those essentials? And I love those conversations too. So really, this hit everything I needed it to hit. It's one of those books that I think would be an amazing book for a book club book. So if you're looking for a sci-fi, I highly recommend this one because it is a fascinating concept. And I think there are a lot of questions you can talk to other people about, especially because this is the question of what does humanity do when everything has fallen apart, and to be within a social society, and how are people going to react and behave in a situation that they have zero control over and are absolutely terrified in. Are they going to band together? Are they going to fall apart? Like, it was really a fascinating conversation. I think it would be a really cool conversation to have with a group of people. Thank you, Kim from Expedition Through Pages. Thank you, Kim, so much for this recommendation. You knew exactly what I needed to read right now. Like, you did such a good job in picking me a book that you might have to pick all my books from here on out. Because I did not expect this. I did not expect this. If you've never visited Kim's channel, please go check it out. She's a great friend of mine here on BookTube, and I think she's wonderful. Kim has a TBR game called Tales from Two Trails, and her mom have been doing this particular round as a competition. So I'm on her mom's team, Team Pirates. Go Pirates! And Pirates are gonna win. Sorry, Kim, but we're gonna win. Probably thanks to you. As far as A Picture of Murder by T.E. Kinsey, I'm currently about 23% of the way through with this one. We did finally get to the murder, which wasn't a surprise, which actually Mom and I were listening to it together, and she was like, oh, I know who it's going to be. And she mentioned the character's name who was going to be dead. And sure enough, that was the name that they said. So it's predictable. But like this series, I don't look at it for like the surprise of the mystery. I look at it for vibes. Like, it's really a vibe and character-based mystery series for me. And so I'll be interested to hear why this character was murdered and what Lady Hardcastle and Flo can figure out about everything. Okay, so that is my 6th out of 9 prompts completed for Pickpongathon. And very excited that this was the 6th book, written by a very well-known female BIPOC author. in sci-fi, I feel like she paved the way in a lot of ways. And it's great to read sci-fi from a diverse perspective from a while ago, not just current authors. I mean, I love current authors, but it's great to see Octavia Butler's work standing for itself, like being incredible when it was written, and giving us perspectives from that time period that are not all problematic. I mean, there were definitely things in here that would be considered a little problematic, but the conversations on gender in here were very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Somewhat enlightened, actually. So I think that was really a fascinating look at something that I don't think a lot of people were talking about as much. I'm not saying that there weren't people talking about it. I'm just saying within the general media, it wasn't talked about quite as much during this time. I really liked the conversations that she had about gender. Okay, so that's going to be it for now. I'm excited to pick up my next book, although I have a choice between two options and I haven't quite figured out yet which one I want to go with. So we'll see. And I'll let you know in the next video what I've ended up choosing. I will continue reading A Picture of Murder by T.E. Kinsey as my audiobook. And that's it for now. Let me know in the comment section down below, what was your last amazing favorite sci-fi that you read? What's a sci-fi that just blew you away, made your brain go, whoa, or that you just thought was so great that you want to, maybe it didn't blow you away, but you thought it was so amazing that you want to share it. Shout it out in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens when I pick another book for Pickpongathon. I still have 12 days left technically, so I still have quite a bit of time to read more. And maybe once I finish my 9 prompts for my team, I'll start dipping my toes into Crystal's prompts. We'll see. I just don't know how the next 12 days are gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Bye.